Hey everyone, Shaun Stevenson here, author of the Throne series, and I'm finally back with a weekly update. I will just tell you, I was going to save this for a little bit, but I was super sick for like a week at the beginning of March, and I feel like just threw off my entire March. There's been so much going on, I've been so busy that I wasn't able to get to the weekly update videos. But now I am back, and I'm so excited to be back on these weekly updates. I'm changing the format a tiny bit, so let me know if you like it. So first up, I have some updates, because there's been a lot going on. So number one, I have joined Old School April, run by Kelsey at Slime and Slashers. I'll link to her channel down below. So definitely check out that channel. Kelsey has a lot of fun videos that she does on all kinds of things, from Nickelodeon slime to slashers to nostalgia and all the things. So it's a lot of fun. And she is hosting Old School April, which is a whole readathon in April where there are tons of different reading prompts and you can do all kinds of books. It's actually really open. I've never done a readathon, so this is my first one and I'm super excited about it. I have a whole stack of books that I am not going to say are a to be read pile, because that feels very limiting to an Enneagram 7 who does not like to be limited. I like to have open and like freedom, to choose what I want to read. I've made a might be read pile, or the could be read pile, or the these would be fun to read pile. Because I can't do a TBR. It's too stressful to me. So it's a big might be read pile, which feels less stressful in a lot of ways. And I'm going to be filming a video coming up soon with all my recs for those different prompts and things and what I think I'm going to read. It's a lot of fun because this is not just a readathon, but it's a watchathon and a do-a-thon, because there's activities like nostalgia activities and also nostalgia movie watching you can do for the Old School April. So if you want to join Old School April, there's still time to do it. They also have really cool merch. I'm still deciding what I want to get. I want to get some kind of merch from it, but I don't know what yet. So I gotta decide. So there's like merch. It's gonna be super fun. And there are different teams, so you earn points for your team. Now, it's not like a super competitive competition sort of thing. It's just for fun, but the winning team does get to pick, I think, the theme of next year's Old School April. So I'm on the Blue Barracudas team, chomp, chomp, chomp. So definitely, if you want to join on Old School April, you can think about joining my team, the Blue Barracudas, or you can join one of the other ones. There's a lot of fun ones. So definitely take a look at Old School April. Like I said, the link to Kelsey's channel will be down below. Definitely check it out. I think it's going to be super fun. I'm really, really excited about it. The other thing that is still going on for one more week is the March National Reading Challenge, which I am a part of. So my set of Thrones books, the 3 books plus Light of the Frozen Star, which is the Thrones side quest book #1, those are all in the challenge as prizes that you can win. All you have to do is read with your child. If you have a child, it's really for kids. So if your kid reads for 20 minutes a day or is read to for 20 minutes a day, you can mark off a book. Once you fill out the whole sheet, you can upload it to the Facebook group that I'll put in the link down below, and you can post that there as an entry to win one of the prize packs. There are 3 different prize packs. One is for older readers like 10 to 14. One is for like middle of the road, like readers like 8 to 10, and then one is for younger readers like 6 to 8 kind of range. So there's a lot of different cool books in there that are really awesome, and some I've put on my wish list because I thought they looked really fun, so that I haven't read. So definitely check that out. There's still time for you to join that National Reading Month challenge with your kids if you have kids, and I think it's a lot of fun. The other thing that I wanted to update you on was this was my first ReadZ Discovery review went up this month, and I was super excited because it got picked to be on the homepage of ReadZ Discovery as a featured review. So that was my review of the book Nemesis and the Vault of Lost Time, which in that video I kept calling it Nemesis and the Vault of Time because I kept forgetting that the title also had Lost Time in it, but oh well. I'm really proud of that review still. But that was a really great book. So if you haven't checked out Nemesis and the Vault of Lost Time, I'm not being paid to advertise it, just FYI. But I really, really enjoyed that book. It was a really fun middle grade fantasy book. If you love Portal World, middle grade fantasy kind of stuff, definitely check out Nemesis and the Vault of Lost Time by P.J. Davis. And you can check out my review down below. I also just filmed my book trip book haul video, which went up a couple days ago, and that was a lot of fun. I got to go to some new bookstores I'd never been to. there was a bookstore that I had heard of called Wall of Books, and so I wanted to go check it out, and so I did, and it was a lot of fun. They had a lot of great books. That is where I got some Oz books that I had been like searching for forever and just had on my wish list, and some other fun things. So that was a really, really fun store. I also got to go back to Got Books in North Carolina because I went over there, and that was I got some more fun stuff. And then also I got to go to a McKay's bookstore, which McKay's is kind of in the South in Tennessee and North Carolina. I don't know if there's any outside Tennessee and North Carolina, but it's a really amazing used bookstore. It kind of reminds me in some ways of Powell's in Portland, Oregon. And so that store is very similar. I love Portland, Oregon City of Books. Powell's store in downtown Portland is amazing. It's literally 4 stories of books, and it's all used books, some new books, and it's a lot of fun. But McKay's is also super fun, and there's lots of different locations. So I went to a new location I'd never been to before, which was really great. I found some great stuff there as well. So check out my book trip, book haul video if you haven't yet. It was a lot of fun. And then the other thing... It is, okay, so just to like peek behind the curtain of BookTube, it is so funny to me, the things that gain a lot of traction on a channel. And I, on a whim, filmed an Alex Rider news video because I love the Alex Rider books. I just finished reading book 14, Nightshade Revenge, and then they had a lot of new information about the new season of Alex Rider that was coming up, season 3, that's going to be about book number 5, Scorpia. And so I was super excited about some like set photos they had done. So I just randomly filmed that video, and that is now my most watched video on this channel. So I am going to be probably talking about the Alex Rider season when it releases next month. And I think I'm going to reread Scorpia because I want to like refresh my brain on all the plot details. So that way when I'm watching the show, I can like look for Easter eggs and fun little things like that. Although I do think it's going to be different than the book because there's some other posts from the Twitter feed that the Alex Rider TV show has posted that makes me think that there's going to be a love triangle. So, which is not in the books in the way that it looks like they're going to depict it. So I'm interested to see what's going on there. It looks very interesting. So I'm excited for Alex Rider season 3. They released a trailer about it and it looks so good. The performance of Julia Rothman, it looks amazing. I'm so excited about her as a villain. I think she's a really great villain. I think they are going to do something with pitting Julia Rothman against Mrs. Jones. So I think that's going to be interesting. I'm excited about it. So as far as last week's reads go, I have been reading a lot of books. This month has like been the month of picture books and board books because Easter is on March 31st, and I'm a children's pastor, so I often go and read a ton of Easter time board books to see what kind of board books we want to put into our preschool rooms at church. So I read a ton of board books about Easter, and there were some really fun ones. I found a really great one that was it was called An Easter Prayer, and it was a touch and feel book that I thought was really great. It had like the duck feathers and like a cracked egg you can feel, and like the grass on the ground, and like a little water brook thing. It was a really cute little board book. I'll put a picture of it up here so you can see it. But it was a really cute little board book, and I think it's one of my favorites of the new kind of Easter books that I've seen lately. But I also have been reading of quite a few different books. So last week I read The Dead Sea Squirrels, book number 3, Nutty Study Buddies by Mike Naraki. This is a book series. I have a review coming out soon of the first book. I got these from the local library because someone was talking about them, and I thought I kind of want to go read those and see what they're all about. They're very similar to like Dog Man or any Dave Pilkey kind of stuff. They're about some squirrels that were petrified in the Dead Sea and then put into this cave in Qumran with the Dead Sea Scrolls, which is like an archaeological find from the 1940s and 50s, where this kid went into a cave and found a bunch of pots that had been sealed, and inside were all these scrolls from like 2,000 plus years ago. So it was a really interesting like archaeological find, and so this is like a series about squirrels that were in the cave and like petrified along with the Dead Sea Scrolls. So the Dead Sea Scrolls, and then this kid brings them back to the United States, and then they come alive when they get hit by the rain. So it's really random, but it was pretty funny. So I read the third book in that series, and I mean, I'll have more to say about that series. They're kind of interesting because you can't really just read one. They kind of they don't finish a storyline, so to speak. They're like just continuous. Like you kind of have to just keep reading them because the storyline just doesn't end at the end of the book. It just keeps going, which is a little odd and I didn't love it, but they were entertaining. Then I also read Forbidden Doors book number 3, The Spell. I think this is the first one in this series that didn't hold up super great for me. I have a lot of thoughts about it. I'll be doing a review of this book because there were just a few things that I didn't really love how they described. And so I'll talk about that in my review of this book. I think that it just didn't hold up as well as I had hoped. And then I got to visit my niece and nephew recently, and I got to read them. I got to read to them If You Give a Pig a Party by Laura Numeroff, and it's a picture book that was really fun and really cute. It's kind of based on that If You Give a Mouse a Cookie series. It's part of that series, which it was really funny. I will say, though, those are the picture books of run-on sentences that never end, because it's like, if you give a pig, then the pig will want this. And then if you give them this, it will give this. And if you do this, it will do that. And it's just like a run-on sentence that never ends kind of picture book. But it was funny. It was cute. A good illustration. So as far as my book stats, as of this recording, I've now read 6,808 pages in 2024, which, like I said, I'm really excited about where my book stats are as far as my pages read so far. I'm really excited about that. So I've read 45 different books so far this year, written by 33 different authors. Some of them are co-authors on the same book, and some I've read multiple books by the same author. So far, I still have read the most books by R.L. Stine. I've read 8 books by R.L. Stine, and tied in second place is a 3-way tie between Bill Myers, which I've read 3 books by, Matt McMahon, which I've read 3 books by, and Mike Naraki, which I've read 3 books by. So they're all tied in second place right now, but R.L. Stine is still in the lead with 8 books, and honestly, I don't know if anyone's going to beat R.L. Stine because I have a lot more Fear Street books and a lot more Goosebumps books that I'm reading and plan to read, so R.L. Stine might win the year. We'll have to see. So as far as current reads go, it is still the season of Lent. It is almost over. It ends with Easter, and I'm reading this book, Abide With Us, A Lenten Journey with the Saints. So this is like a kind of a daily reading sort of book with quotes from people throughout history, from all over the world, which has been really fun to read, like their different perspectives on God and their perspectives on the Lent season, which is the season between Ash Wednesday and Easter. So I'm still reading this book. I am also still reading The Faith of Our Children by Matt Markins, which is a nonfiction book about like surveys on faith and families and religion, and it's really fascinating, like a lot of the statistics about those sorts of things, at least to me. I know it's not interesting to everybody, but to me it's really interesting to read about as a children's pastor. And then last but not least, my other current read right now is The Seven Sleepers, book number 6, The Empress of the Underworld by Gilbert Morris. This is a really interesting series. So it basically starts off in book number 1 with a nuclear war that decimates the planet Earth, and then thousands of years pass and things have changed. Like there are now strange creatures that have evolved over time and emerged from this nuclear war that happened. And so there are these 7 kids called the Seven Sleepers who were put into like a cryogenic sleep right before this nuclear war happened, and they emerged and woke up, and there's a prophecy about them like setting the world right again. So this one is book number 6. This one has finally changed the formula of this series because book number 1 was really unique and I thought very interesting and very shocking. But then books 2, 3, 4, and 5 were all the same thing. There was like a group of people that were being like oppressed that needed to be rescued, and the 7 sleepers are the only ones who can rescue them. And it's like that just in different locations, like in Atlantis, in Camelot. It just was the same thing over and over and over again. And so this book has finally changed up the formula. However, this book is just like C.S. Lewis's Chronicles of Narnia book, The Silver Chair. It's like the same plot. And so far I've been a little like, we're doing this? Like, this is the same plot as Chronicles of Narnia, The Silver Chair? Like, this is the same thing? Like, same kind of villains, all sorts of things. So, we'll see how it ends, but it is different, so I have to give the book that. It's different from the rest of the series so far. So what I'm up to this week, I have a couple of books in the review queue. I have all three books, the first three books of the Dead Sea Squirrels series by Mike Naraki in the review queue. I think I have already filmed the review of the first book, but I think I'm going to do a review of books 2 and 3 together because you just kind of can't read them separate. And even book 3, I thought, oh, you have to really read book 4 now to really continue the story, because it just leaves it hanging, and it's not in a necessarily a good way. It's like the story just has to continue. Like, it's like the story wasn't even finished. It's like act 1 of a book that was not finished, and the storyline is just kind of continuing and continuing. So I don't know what I think about that. It's not really for me. I think for reluctant readers, it could be really great. It has a lot of pictures on every single page in that book, so it's really great that way, like a Berenstein Bears big chapter book. But I feel like the Berenstein Bear books are more sophisticated than the Dead Sea Squirrels. I don't even know. So anyways, so those are all in the review queue. I also have Forbidden Doors books 2 and 3 in the review queue. The Deceived book number 2 and The Spell book number 3. And this one held up, was a lot of fun to reread. This one, like I said a minute ago, not really holding up for me, but that's okay. That's all right. I'm excited still to read book 4, because I remember book 4 being like one of the wildest ones. I think that one is called The Haunting, and it's about a haunted house. So, and like not like a theme park haunted house, but like a legit spooky haunted house. So we'll see how it is. But these are in the review queue as well. And then I just recently filmed a video with every single green book that I have in my entire book collection. So I have a video going up soon about that, as well as I'm going to be posting that old school April Might Be Red Pile review, or Might Be Red Pile recommendations. So that will go up soon, as well as I also really want to film a top 5 middle grade fantasy series, like my top 5 favorites, because I have actually seen on Facebook lately a lot of people asking about like, hey, what are like some great middle grade fantasy series? And so I keep typing out the same things over and over and over again. So I thought I should just make this a video, so that way I can just share the video and say, hey, here's the video I made, like talking a little bit about each one and what I liked about them and how they might, fit different people who like different kinds of books. So that will also be coming up pretty soon here. As for now, that's everything. Until next time, everybody, keep reading. Bye.